Hmm. How did I make my first $1,000 marketing on the internet? I've actually told this story before several times in other videos in the past, but I thought I'd do a refresher just to kind of share really specifically what we've done. Because a lot of people talk about, hey, how I made my first $1 million, how I made my first 100K or whatever. I'm just gonna talk about how I made my first $1,000. Just really just getting started and really still learning. So it really started. Years ago. Years ago. Actually, I'll go back to like 2012. Now, keep in mind, prior to 2012, I was basically during that time. This was really all really before social media really just blew up. Even before that, maybe about I don't know, maybe 10 years prior to that, had always been trying to make money on the internet. We always did like little side gigs and things of that nature. I used to DJ a little bit and used to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, or whatever. But for the most part, when it came to marketing and making money on the internet, it was very few and far between. And in 2012, I really started to study what people were doing. And really, just a really quick backstory. My mother had suffered a stroke, and we basically had to become her caregiver for a period of time. And so it was tough. It was a lot going on. Some of you can relate to this, some of you may not, or maybe you know of some people that maybe have something tragic happen in their family, and it becomes a very big responsibility, financial responsibility at that. Well, that's kind of what we were kind of going through. So I was in a mindset of I got to figure out how these people are making money on the internet. I got to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to do this. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I just need to figure out what these people are doing, because around 2012, late 2011, 2012, things started to really pick up, in terms of people making money on the internet. It was becoming very visible because of social media was really, really starting to really come into its own, with Facebook and YouTube and all that, and Twitter and all that. So it was becoming very visible that people could really make some significant money online. So, long story short, so I started studying what these people were doing, not specifically what company they were a part of or what product they were selling or whatever, um, but more or less the moves that they were making. Like, how were they generating so much traffic to whatever it is that they were offering? And it all came down to, from I just started noticing that a lot of them had videos, and so and really were branding themselves. I had joined a particular community that really taught people how to do what's called attraction marketing, right? And and so that kind of really opened my eyes on, instead of always going after people, wouldn't it be easier if people just came to you? And so I really kind of studied that for months and months and months or whatever. So kind of fast forward, this was, that was around like late 2011, when I started, finding out about these different strategies. And so if I fast forward to about the summer of 2012, um, we were in a situation where I needed to get some things done. I needed to do something. And so I came across an opportunity, a particular program that had a service that I would, that I felt that I could probably market on the internet, right? There was all kinds of opportunities and different things, but this one's pretty cool, because simply because it was a low cost of entry. And so long story short, I got in, I got started. And I think that was like on a Sunday night or Monday morning or something like that. And keep in mind, I'm still working a job, right? So I'm still working. I happen to be off that Monday. And so I'm just kind of looking over things. I had to go to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But on those days when I got off, I would go home and I would kind of study a little bit about this opportunity that I just joined, right? This deal that was going to help me to make some money online. If I can get people to buy this service, I can get a really good commission for every enrollment. So I'm like, and I had joined this individual. Matter of fact, I just spoke with him the other day actually, and I joined him, young kid. Um, at that point, he was making in this program roughly about $4,000 a week in this opportunity, right? And so I literally had joined him, right? Because I went to YouTube and he was all over YouTube, and so he seemed like he was probably, at least one of the top people in this opportunity, right? So it's funny when I think back at that time. But what was interesting though, he was, 22, 23-ish, maybe 24 at the most, making about 4 or 5 grand a week. And he had been doing this program for about 6 weeks at the time, I believe. And I'm like, man, what could I do if I can make an extra 4 or 5 thousand a week? Whoa. I mean, that would change everything, right? And it hit me. This was on a Friday. So I joined on a Monday. It was either Sunday night or Monday morning, something like that. And Friday comes around, and I'm like, well, I really need to do something so I can show people that this can actually work. And because if I did a sale, made a sale before Saturday midnight, I would actually get a check mailed to me the following weekend of the next week. So I was like, well, it's Friday. I need to get something done. So I'm looking online and I'm checking because he had just posted another video of him having another $4,000 or $5,000 week or whatever. I'm like, how is he doing this? He's like 23 years old. How is he doing this? So I went to YouTube, right? So I just typed in YouTube, went to the name of that company, right? And it, came up. And I literally just sit there and actually counted every video on every page that he had created, and it was a roughly, I don't know, maybe 30 something videos over the last 6 weeks or whatever, right? Just general videos, nothing fancy at all. I mean, far from it. I mean, just cell phone videos. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I know how he's doing it. I get it. I see what he's doing. He knows that there's a lot of people searching for more information about this company, this opportunity, this service, right? So he's taken upon himself to say, okay, if I know all these people from around the country are coming and typing right now about this opportunity, I need to be in the mix on all these pages on YouTube. So when people are searching, they'll see me in most cases. And I'll get a lot of just, lay down sales from people just wanting to sign up because they're liking my story. They see that I'm real, so on and so forth. I was like, you know what? That is it. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That makes so much sense because it hit me. I'm like, well, I didn't know this individual prior to doing research on this company, and I kept seeing his videos on every page. I'm like, well, because the person that initially sent me the information, just some random inbox or whatever, and I kept getting or seeing some stuff in my news feed on Facebook about this company. I'm like, let me do some research about this. And when I did the research on YouTube, I kept coming across this individual talking about it. So I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well join this guy here because he seems to be like the top, one of the top experts. I'm just going to join him. And so it hit me. I joined him even though I didn't know him, but I felt like I knew him because he took me on a journey through his progression of doing this business over the last 6 weeks. So I signed up without even talking to him. So I was like, you know what? If it works for him, it should work for me as well. Let me start making a whole bunch of videos about this product, service, opportunity, and I should get some of the same type of results that he's getting. So my whole focus, so what I initially did, I started making videos. I made a video. Matter of fact, this is really what I did initially. The first week, what I did, I said, okay, let me just go ahead and send out a text message to everybody that I know that was in my phone and people that I worked with, classmates, so on and so forth, about this new opportunity. And I shared a lot of his videos to them, like, hey, I'm working with this guy. Check him out. He's like 23 years old. He's making like $5,000 a week. He's been in this thing for like 6 weeks, and people seem to love the service and the opportunity and everything. Hey, and so I wind up getting like 3 sales. Now, it was only a $40 buy-in. It wasn't like it was a whole lot of money, but it made sense to a lot of people. And so I got 3 sales from Friday to Saturday, and these were people that I knew. These weren't strangers. These weren't, these are people that I talked to on the regular. And those 3 individuals were kind of entrepreneurial as well. They always kind of had some kind of side gig going on, or I always find another way. 2 of them were people that I worked with, and another one was just a really close friend of mine. And but they signed up. It made sense to them because it wasn't because of my story. It was because of the videos that I was sharing of the guy that I signed up with, right? And so fast forward to the next week, I get my check, and I'm like, okay, let me make a video. And I would have done a video looking back on it. I wish I would have just recorded that whole progression there. It'd have been really interesting content on YouTube. And but I'm new. I don't know. I'm just I'm just learning as I go here, right? So I get a check, and it's only a couple $100. It's not a lot of money, right? But I get that check, and I make a quick little testimonial video. Hey, now keep in mind, my initial way that I made the money was from just me reaching out to people that I knew in a short message saying something on the lines, hey, I'm working on something for the summer. It's going to be crazy. I'm working with a guy that's making about $5,000 a week now. I'm just getting started, so I should make at least 1,000 over the next 30 days. If you want more information, hit me up. So it's something along those lines. And I'm paraphrasing here, but it was short, simple, straight to the point. I didn't just send them the link. I just kind of let them know a little bit about what I'm working on. And if you want more information, hit me up and I'll send you some information. Then I would send, them some of the videos that, the guy that I signed up with, I would send them those videos, and I would, then we wind up texting back and forth or whatever, and or talking on the phone, and 3 of them signed up. Okay. So that was that whole process. Simple, nothing fancy, nothing that you could do that. Okay. In whatever it is that you're doing now. So, the next week, once I got paid, I said, okay, let me go ahead and make a quick little video. So I made a video of me opening up the letter that had the check from those 3 sales that I made, which was about a couple $100 or whatever it was. But I just recorded it. It was a 5-minute video. Wasn't even anything long. And I uploaded it. I didn't like the video, but I just uploaded it anyway. It was just a bad video, but it was just telling my story. I wasn't fancy. I wasn't trying to be a salesman. I was just saying, hey guys, I just got started in this thing. I was able to make a few sales and got my first check in the mail today, blah, 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 blah. Right. So it's pretty much that, like that. So several days later, I made another video, cause I started getting a few people hitting me up, about matter of fact, I'm kind of going a little fast here. So I made another video, and in that video was more, this is like several days later, I made another video where I was kind of doing a like a training on how the compensation plan worked and what you got once you purchased that service, what you would get in the mail. Cause I finally got my stuff in the mail. And so I made a video. Hey, this is what you get. This is how it works, blah, 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 blah. Just a real quick. And then I also kind of went over a little bit about the compensation plan, how all that worked. So more educational. Okay. And fast forward maybe several days, maybe a week or so later, maybe even a couple weeks later, cause it didn't happen instantly. And the reason why I'm saying this, because the whole title of this video is how I made my first 1,000. So I made a few $100 there, maybe several weeks later, and I made a couple more sales from some people that I knew because I would send them my little video or whatever. So I was grinding. I wasn't playing around. I had to make some moves. But what was interesting roughly about almost a month later. Now, I didn't have a lot of videos. Okay. I think I had that first month, I think I had really only made about maybe 2 or 3 videos. And almost a month later, I get a call. I'm at work in the morning and I get a random call from some individual on the East Coast and said, "Hey, I saw your video on YouTube and I just like your, you know, you just seem authentic. You didn't seem like you was kind of oversell anything or whatever. You were just being yourself." And I was, because I'm new. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just trying to get some things to work here. Um, so long story short, we talked. He liked what he heard. He had a couple questions, and I answered those questions for him. He said he was going to sign up once he got home. Which what was interesting, after we hung up, and it was like a quick little 5-minute call, maybe 6-minute call. It wasn't a long call at all. But he said he was going to sign up once he got home. Come to find out, maybe about an hour later, he just signed up. Okay. And I called my wife. I said, "Babe, I just had a person that just signed up in this deal, just purchased, and he lives way over somewhere in New York or wherever, right? New Jersey or whatever. And he signed up. I don't even know who he is." And she was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, it's the first one." And then shortly after, maybe a day or so after that, I got another one. And then I started getting sales without even talking to anybody. I would just wake up and, man, somebody just signed up. I'm like, and roughly about over maybe a week or a week and a half later, if I had to accumulate everything that we were doing, we had made over $1,000. And months later, within 6 months, we literally made over 6 figures in commissions, mainly because of the videos that I was creating. And what was interesting? Almost 90 days to the date, when I signed up that Sunday night, I think I saw it that Sunday night. I was researching it. I think I officially signed up that Monday morning. But almost 90 days to the day, we were able to make a lot of money. We basically replaced our income. Now, we weren't making 5 figures or anything like that a month. Basically, within that 90-day period, we were making, as a side hustle, on a consistent basis, we basically replaced our income. Me and my wife, we basically replaced our income. To keep in mind, we weren't making 6 figures or anything like that. We weren't, making 5 figures a month, $10,000 a month or anything like that. But basically, we were making enough commissions online, creating content, to where 90 days later, we both quit our jobs and said, "Hey, I think we understand how this formula works." And it's been so consistent, even from the first week that we enrolled. We've always made something, whether it was, $100 or a couple $100 or whatever, worst case scenario, just $100 over the past 3 months, every single week. And we've been able to scale it so much to where it has doubled our income. And this was all part-time. Keep in mind, my wife's still working. I'm still working. So we had debated about it for a couple of weeks. I was like, well, I know what we're doing right now. We're not like rich or anything, but we're making some decent money. We're making some decent full-time money here. I said, but imagine what we can make if we went full-time. If I had all my time to just create content, oh my God, who knows what we could do? Who knows where we could go? And we talked about it, prayed about it, and next thing you know, we made a decision, said, "Hey," and I went in and gave my resignation. I was working for T-Mobile, and I've been with them for, 6.5 years at that point. And next thing you know, that was the last time that I worked a job. And that went on, within about 6 months, another maybe 3 or 4 months later, we accumulated over 6 figures in commissions. Because we were able to really take it to the next level once, we became full-time entrepreneurs. we dedicated all our effort into our business and building our brand and all that. So that's how I did it. Hopefully that wasn't too long, but I just wanted to kind of share, kind of give you the insight behind the story, or behind the scenes of really what we did to make our first $1,000. And you heard what I said in the beginning. In the beginning, you know, my first money that I made was just sending out information, but I leveraged someone else's story because I didn't have a story. I didn't have a sales funnel. I mean, guys, it's 2012. I'm just getting started. I don't know what I'm doing. But I did understand this. His videos intrigued me so much that I was like, well, those, his video, and they weren't fancy videos. They were very authentic videos, right? Just nothing fancy at all. I mean, far from it. But it was so authentic, and I would see the results that he was getting. I'm like, man, if I would share some of his videos to some people that I know, they might see it as well. And so that's why I kind of lean on, because I didn't have a story. I hadn't made any money. I haven't gotten anything in the mail yet. I just signed up. So how could I get somebody to enroll if I just signed up myself? They gave you like a little page or whatever, a little cheesy page or what have you, but that wouldn't have done anything. I said, I need to show some people, his video. That's what we did initially. We didn't, make $1,000 just doing that. I made a couple $100, right? Probably all in all, the first 1,000, probably the first 400 was just from me just hustling. And the other 6 came from once I had a story and I would share it with some people that I knew, and we had a few more people sign up here and there. That's what kind of got us over, over that $1,000 mark. And then of course, we're really, that gave a little bit more. And then once we had some people coming in offline signing up, that really got us over the 1,000 mark, 2,000 mark, 5,000. And you look up, man, we made $10,000 in this thing, So it was very, very interesting, and it works. And I say all that to say this: all you got to do is just create content. Now, this is way back in 2012. We didn't have all these different resources and gadgets and, social media outlets, all these different things. I think back then, really, all you really had was Facebook and YouTube. That was really pretty much it. But we made it work. Now you got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got all these different things, right? Twitch and so on and so forth, right? But the main thing was I just got started. So that's really what you have to do, guys, is just get started and really start creating content. And if you do that, incredible things can definitely happen. So hopefully you got some value from this. Check out the links I got right below in the YouTube description. Got some good resources to help you to really get to the next level. And hey, you can do it. I know you can. Hey, thanks for watching this video, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Peace out.